The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Commission meeting, September 23rd, 2020.
Mike, you everything good?
I'm good to go.
Okay. Good morning and welcome to the White Pine County Board of County Commission meeting, which is for September 23rd. And Mike, why don't you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, as per normal, we'll take this first moment for silence, meditation, prayer, whatever you like to do. So right now, take that first moment. Okay, we'll go back into the meeting, and the first item on the agenda is public comment. Do you have any public comment on the phone line?
No, sir.
Anyone on the phone want to comment? Hearing none? Anybody in the audience want to comment? Got a public comment, anybody? Seeing none in here, George, you're up, I guess.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda 1A4, you consider the ratification of a amended road maintenance agreement between White Pine County, Western Oil, Western Gold, and Energix. There was nothing in the meeting packet for a member of the public to review what you're considering. All maintenance repairs should be done by a licensed contractor hired by Western Oil, Western Gold, Energix. The county should not be competing against the private sector. NRS does not allow the county to assist the private entity use the taxpayers' dollars. They created the problem. They need to find the solution, not the taxpayer. The road department needs to be out in the county roads. Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item 2B, 1B, and C, C1, you're to consider ratifying agreements that would cost the taxpayers thousands of dollars healthcare concerns. For healthcare concerns. This does not sit well with me. The actions of one commissioner acting outside of his authority needed to be addressed. State health mandates the mask must be worn along with social distancing when out in the public or in public meetings. Commissioner Bullis has attended at least 11 to 12 meetings that I have attended, and has not worn a mask. And today he's not wearing a mask. It's the law. Where's your enforcement? Did you not read the paper that's mentioned a local grocery store just recently? As a public official too can to enforce and by all the laws he needs to comply and resign. The rest of the commission has the same obligation. You guys have a job to do, or you resign. We lost a dedicated public health officer worked for peanuts, $100 a month, because you people failed to give the proper support. The additional funds need to be needed for a new public health officer, Alma Healthcare Services, as well as the county EMS medical director, should be pulled out of the enforcement departments that fail to do their jobs. COVID virus is very real and climbing. That includes White Pine County. Don't you people watch the news? Mr. Chairman, on your agenda item 2C and 4A, you consider the grant application to Simple Round 18 for Nevada Northern Railway Phase 3 project. You need to reject that, put in for an indoor event center or arena. There's much more economic benefit and spin-off that would occur from different events that would bring in a wider variety of visitors than just the railroad. The different events would enhance visitorship to the railroad also. The commission needs to consider reprioritizing their application to Sipley. Expanding the rail line, which doesn't haul freight, is not a positive impact, it is passive at best. Your first priority, the Heritage Park needs to be scrapped. There are enough parks in the community. National studies strongly advise that you do not put public parks or schools near truck stops, yet you're doing that. I want to remind you, we have a local little girl that come up missing for years, haven't found her. That proposed park is nothing more than a sweetheart deal for a former county commissioner. Do not take prime commercial property off the tax rolls. Your attention needs to be focused on the economic enhancement of the economy for the county as a whole. I want to remind you that there is nepotism at the railroad, rumored investment of tens of thousands of dollars. They don't operate under the Nevada open meeting law.
You brought that
We need
up.
transparency.
Thank you.
We need
You have 3
economic
minutes.
benefit that will provide for
You
a
have 3
year-round
minutes, George.
events.
Thank you for your comments.
I need some answers. And you
Thank
need
you.
to address these issues, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else with public comment? Anyone? Hearing none? Seeing none? None on the phone? Okay. We'll move into the meeting. I'll have one item that we're going to have is on page 3 today. Under public health. It's the library's item. It's for the trick or treat at the library. That will be scratched. We'll not be acting on that. They have Lori's request. So page 3 under item D, public health meeting number 3 is not going to be happening. Okay, we'll move into the regular county commission meeting, and we'll open the road commission meeting. It's item on page 2, item 1, discussion update on primary and secondary roads within White Pine County and county facilities completed and further future projects, communications with corporations and governmental agencies. Martin?
Thank you. So, under this agenda item, road maintenance activities, road department for August 15th, September 10th. Road maintenance consisted of working on Antelope Valley, or Hope Road, Long Valley, Cross Timbers, and Mitchell and Knoxville roads. We replaced the old existing culvert on WP 72 to Barrel Springs Road, installed a new no blocking roadway sign in McGill on 7th Street, replaced street signage on 212 North, with continued screening gravel in the Taylor Cutoff Pit for use on Road 45 in Cave Valley, repaired the cattle guard grid on WP3 near Fort Ruby. We got our crew truck 24 back from Salt Lake City for warranty repairs to the transmission. Mitchell and Oxborough Road received a second oil stabilization project. Will be targeted for sometime this next spring, early summer for a third treatment along with a double chip seal. We assist the city of Ely with a second stabilization oil project on Avenue D, there by Wheeler Machinery. Completed mac chloride, 16 miles in Long Valley. Assisted NDOT with the loan of a water stand for their US 50 chip seal project, and received assistance from NDOT with the loan of a double drum roller for our oil stabilization project. We requested 3 gravel pits in Newark Valley and marked the location to do test trenches in that area upon their approval. We've taken delivery of our 2020 Western Star cab and chassis for mounting a water tank on that we already own. And we've hauled material in Long Valley to improve the Bride Sheep Well access road. Right now, the city of Ely owes White Pine County 45.5 hours in the county, city assistance agreement.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions on Martin on the update from the road department? Seeing none, thank you for that. We'll go to item 2. Item 2 is discussion for possible action, approval to trade in a single drum roller compactor for a double drum roller compactor. Martin?
Okay, so the reason that we're doing this, that we're making this request is that we own a single drum compactor. We don't get much use out of it. It was bought in 2017, I believe, and in that time we've only put 162 hours on it. In the meantime, though, we've been, the last 2 seasons, we've been renting a double drum roller for our mag chloride program and our road stabilization projects. And in those 2 seasons, we have spent $48,000 on rental. So, in working with Cat Wheeler Machinery, we can trade the single drum roller in that we don't get much use out of for a double drum roller that we would. The double drum roller would be $48,000. They'll give us a trading value of $55,000 for the single drum roller, and then reimburse us $7,000. So we were requesting permission from the commission to proceed with that.
Do you got any questions on that? Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Double drum's good shape, good low hours unit.
Yes, it is. I have pictures of it. I've compared it with other double drum rollers, a similar make, model, and year, with similar hours on the internet, and I found that the $48,000 range is what they're looking for.
Excellent.
Okay, anyone else? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Motion by Shane,
Second.
second by Lori. Any further comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, passed unanimous. Item 3 is discussion update on the Newark Valley roads for WP 1177 and WP 1204. Martin?
We don't have a lot to update there. I mean, continuing discussions. Bill Calderwood has had some communication with James Franklin concerning the water wells. And part of their discussion here recently, to my understanding, is James Franklin is working with the state to appropriate some of the water from the water well on the drill pad itself off of WP 1177 to appropriate that water for use on the county road itself. And then he is still committed to pursuing another water well location for the county further south on WP 1204 or WP 5, right in that area. As far as gravel pits go, we, as I mentioned earlier, I've met with the BLM out there. We marked out 3 locations through that area, 2 on WP 1177 and 1 off of 1204, actually on County Road 5. And then right now it's in their hands. According to the sand and gravel lady at the BLM, she's gotten a little bit of pushback from one of the not geologists, help me out with this, one of the ladies that look at things as far as sage grouse go and whatnot. So that entire area is in general sage grouse habitat. So they have a little bit of problems with that. So they came back and mentioned that if we would be, if we would look at an area that would be north of Highway 50 on County Road 72, there is an old state gravel pit up in that area, and it's out of sage grouse habitat. So we told them we would look at that area, so I met with them out there the other day. We marked out 2 different locations, and then we requested to be able to do test trenches so we can make sure that the gravel is suitable in those areas. And they'll still work on the other areas in the general habitat. It's just gonna be a longer drawn out process because of sage grouse. So that's where we're at on that. And so right now, we're kinda hanging and rattling, waiting for permission from the BLM to do any test trenches. Other than that, I really don't have much more information.
Any questions by anyone? Okay, that was, just an update, so that's fine. Now we'll go to item 4. Does anybody have anything? I'll ask one time. Hearing none. We'll go on to item 4, that was discussion. Item 4 is discussion for possible action. The ratification of the amended road maintenance agreement between White Pine County, Western Oil / Western Gold, and Energex concerning County Roads 1177 and 1204 in Newark Valley, White Pine County. Mike, would you
I
guys?
thought we already ratified this. This one get placed on automatically, or what happened?
We hadn't seen a copy of the new, and that was at the last meeting, we talked about getting an opportunity to read it. I know that I requested it, and then everybody else kind of chimed in.
We're gonna table it in the next meeting. I thought we already did this.
Yeah, we still just haven't seen a copy of the agreement.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, I understand.
So I'll look for a motion to table that item.
So moved.
Motion by Ian,
Second.
second by Shane. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, passed unanimous.
I should say, I haven't really heard much from them in the last couple of weeks also. It's kind of fallen off the radar, which is a good thing, because it was every day before that. So hopefully something's moving forward on this. I haven't heard anything bad either, which is nice. So I'll get a copy of the agreement. I know we have it. I thought I already did that, so I thought.
no, after the
Feels like
cash
several months ago.
bond, after the cash bond, things were gonna be put into place, so far as still some more changes, I guess, and so,
Yeah, they were minor. So we have it.
but,
I'll make
yeah,
sure we
but
bring
we
it.
just haven't seen it.
You got it. I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 5 on page 2 is discussion for possible action. The approval of the minutes from the road commission meeting held on August 26, 2020. Any additions, corrections, or subtractions?
No, motion to approve the minutes of August 26th.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Ian. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, our next item is a timed item, so let's try to find something here. It's not timed. Let's go to, let's see, where we go?
Go there,
Page 4, let's go to county committee, let's see. Yeah, let's go to page 4, items under elected officials and department heads. Item A is county commission, Lori Carson, commissioner. A is a discussion for possible action, the approval to appoint Lori Carson as the alternate liaison in energy in White Pine County.
And Richard, this is something I felt like I might be a resource.
Okay.
I was part of when LS Power first started. I was part of the wind farm, and I was also the liaison to the online within the energy. So,
Okay, I'm sure you'll be an asset. Has anybody got any problems with that? Was there a motion to appoint Lori as the alternate liaison to energy?
Move to approve.
Motion by Shane,
Second.
second by Ian. All those in favor? Aye.
Thank
Opposed? None? Pass unanimous. Thank you for coming on board. Item B is discussion for possible action, the approval of resolution 2020-56, requesting that the governor and attorney general of Nevada and the attorney general of the United States ensure a citizen's right to vote in person on the 2020 election is maintained. Nicole, why don't you give us an update on this?
actually, I was gonna say, this came from me.
Okay?
I was contacted by former Nye County Commissioner Joni Easley on behalf of Adam Laxalt. And if you've read it, this is in regards to, I know for me personally, I was disappointed that The governor chose to take away the power from the Secretary of State, Barbara Savasky, who is elected by the people, just as the governor is. And so this is kind of in response to some of that and the controversy in regards to just having mail-in ballots, and the issue that there's only one investigator that the state has right now in the Secretary's office. So Nicole, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure this commission understood that despite the governor's decision, we're all working really hard to make sure all signatures are checked and that voter fraud is kept to a minimum. What this resolution references, ballot harvesting, was made illegal in the past, and I don't really think it's a thing anymore. And what it really entails is somebody going around a neighborhood saying, hey, have you mailed your ballot in? I'd be happy to turn it in for you. And collecting these ballots and turning in mass ballots at once on behalf of other people. So the law changed to where that isn't allowed anymore. And the passage of AB 4 did loosen up that restriction, allowing, it wasn't intended to allow ballot harvesting. It was intended to allow a husband to turn in ballots of his entire family, for example. Because even before AB 4, a husband would have to get a signed statement from his wife saying, I give my husband permission to turn in my ballot. So I just want you guys to know that signatures are still being checked in all counties across the state, and ballot or election fraud and voter fraud is, if they're going to do it, we're going to be ready for them to make sure that the voter is properly registered and that they, actually live here like their information says that they are, and that everything is kosher. So the passage of this resolution isn't going to affect the outcome of this election, is where I'm going. I just want you guys to feel comfortable.
Are you having any in-person voting here in the county?
Absolutely. It's in the law. We're allowing in-person voting. People can vote in person if they turn in their ballot or if they sign an affirmation stating that they understand voting twice as a crime.
Have the sample ballots been mailed out yet?
They're being mailed out this week out of California.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, I'm confused because I got a little postcard from Barbara's office saying you can vote like normal, so
You can.
I wasn't concerned about it.
That's all true.
I think that it isn't just about the ballot harvesting. I guess that part of it is also having to do with, I know that there was a lot of issues with return ballots and those coming in late, that we went through last time. And I think on a state level, this is what is being looked at. Like I said, I was contacted by a former commissioner, and she's also the chair on the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority. So I know that there's a lot of people that have concerns in regards to any election irregularity. And like I say, for me personally, I feel like that Barbara, Secretary of State, should have been allowed on her own to do what she saw fit. That's why we elected her.
I'll say this, yesterday Nicole was on the radio and gave a very detailed description of exactly what it is so the citizens can be aware of, able to come into the clerk's office, they would go to the convention center on election day. So that was really a good update, and just like she just said.
And this doesn't oppose that, and this doesn't affect it.
Right. So we're just gonna, we're gonna go along with that, and this item is to request the governor and the attorney general to ensure that the citizens have the right to vote. I think that's the agenda item. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get a motion to approve that. You've been informed you can vote in person, so.
Absolutely.
Let's get a motion on item B.
Which one, yeah, I mean, I'm for this, but with the thing is, I know the rules, here, any type of fraud, it's pretty easy, there's a few votes either way, it's, you know, a lot easier to catch where you have concerns in the more, you know, metropolitan urban areas, if you will, you know, that's where I'll come and support this, but I'm not supporting it, not like, in no, ill manner for, you know, I know Nicole's perfectly capable and we'll make sure it's done right, so I'm not, you know, I have no, no concerns here at our county, but as far as the larger place in the state, I do.
Right.
And I mean,
And
that's where I'm
it's on
coming
a
at
state
this.
This is on a
Yeah.
state level. Other counties are doing the same thing.
Right, I think it's just important to ensure that we as rural voters don't get our votes washed over by an overwhelming amount of illegal ballots in the bigger counties.
Very good.
We
Thanks
have
for the
enough
comment.
trouble trying to have our voice heard.
Thank you for the comments. Is there anybody else that has anything that they'd like to speak to? And let's just go ahead and look for the motion to approve resolution 2020-56.
Was that a motion, Travis?
I move to approve. I didn't make a motion.
Motion by
Yeah, I
Travis,
just
Second.
second by Ian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you,
Opposed?
thank you.
None. Thank you. Page 4, item 2, under Shane Bybee. Item A is a discussion for possible action or ratification of a letter of support for the NNRDA's application to the U.S. Economic Development Administration for Economic Development District designation, which would allow NNRDA to tap additional EDA from Department of Commerce funding. Shane?
Yeah, this, I brought this forward to Richard to have it signed and follow up with ratification. Basically, we're applying through NNRDA for an economic development district designation from the EDA. Basically just opens up some avenues for more funding and more resources to us, and we're quite excited about it. We think it's really going to aid us in our efforts.
Good job. Motion to approve?
Motion by Lori,
Okay.
second by Ian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. We've got 2 minutes. Let's see if we can find something we can do in 2 minutes.
You can do mine quick.
Okay. Page 5, item 2, Nicole Baldwin, County Clerk, discussion for possible action, the approval to allow the clerk to close the clerk's office at 5 p.m. during the close of voter registration on October 5th through October 6th, 2020 pursuant to NRS 293.5603A.
Thank you. So the October 5th and 6th are the last 2 days prior to the closure of voter registration, and larger counties need to stay open until 7. Smaller counties need to ask their county commission for permission to close at 5. We've never had the need to stay open until 7 on these days, so I'm just asking for your permission to call it a normal business day on those 2 days.
Any questions by anybody? I'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Ian,
Second.
second by Shane. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't know what else we can get to in a minute.
You do Desi, so on page 6.
Debbie on page 6 is fine. Okay, page 6, under 3A, Desiree Bonson, Social Services Director. Item A is discussion for possible action, approval for ED bus dispatch at the EOC instead of at the road shop because of no heat and cooling. She mentioned this to me, and Brett had no problem with it, and there's no problem with the road department, so moving it to the EOC would be in the
Good
best
idea.
interest. Has anybody got any questions or any problems with that?
As long as everyone's good with it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I've
I
heard from
talked to
Brett and
Brett,
from Bill, so I think he's good.
Good idea.
Move to approve?
Motion by Travis to approve,
Second?
second by Ian. Lori, got it. It's close.
But did I need to change my voice?
Okay,
Sorry.
now we're at the
Yeah.
now we're at the 9:30.
Needs a vote.
I thought we already voted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? Thanks. Okay, so back to page 2. Okay. Page 2, item B is a 9:30 a.m. public hearing. Item 1 is a public hearing on abandonment and total vacation deed of road and full easement right of way of that certain portion of County Road 19 as identified in the attached parcel map in exchange for an alternative designated public right of way and road easement adjacent in